Brass bands descending under the streets of Saddleworth in Oldham a little later on. It is a huge event. Jane is there for us this morning.
Good morning to you. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. We've taken over the Village Theatre here in Delphur, a crazy day. 11 villages on the foothills of the Pennines, 130 brass bands. Bob is in control, and the day's going to be like what?
Chaos, organised
chaos, but fantastic. You don't want to hear from me and Bob, because what you want to hear from is the Good Morning Band. Good morning. We've got 3 bands down there, and they're going to play us into the news, the travel and weather, wherever you're waking up this morning. Take it away.
Let's talk about brass band enthusiasts. If you are one of those people, today is one of the busiest days in the calendar as more than 100 of them make their way to compete in a 140-year-old Whit Friday contest.
Yes, the brass band competition takes place in Saddleworth and Oldham every year, with some bands travelling all the way from overseas to take part. Jane McCubbin is there for us this morning. Excitement building, Jane.
Hands up if brass bands make you cry happy tears. Definitely me. I bet you as well, Nina. Am I right? Am I right?
Well, Jane...
Good morning, everybody. Say again, Nina.
So, yesterday I was at my kids' school concert, and the brass section did make me cry, arguably for other reasons.
I knew it, I knew it, I knew it. Let me introduce Bob. Bob Rodgers here. You are the man in control, and you have been for, what is it, 56 years?
Yeah. I'm feeling it.
You look 20, Bob.
I know.
You look 20.
Yeah.
Listen, Keith here is going to give us a tiny blast now. Take it away, Keith. Love it. How fantastic is that? Give us a sense, Bob, of what today's all about.
It'll be organised chaos.
Yes, of course it will.
Delph will have 1 band every 6 minutes for 8 hours. That's 80 bands.
And then the bands will move on to the other 10 villages across this area. A £60,000 cash prize.
Yeah.
And the atmosphere is something else, isn't it?
Oh, it's absolute magic. People would... The villagers say that if they had to choose between Whit Friday and Christmas, they'd have Whit Friday.
Really?
Yeah.
Really. You had a little cameo role, did you not, in the film Brassed Off?
We did indeed, yes. We hosted them when they filmed in Saddleworth. And then they invited us up to the Peace Hall at Halifax, and I was the adjudicator. And my line was, and the winners with 194 points, the Grimly Colliery Band.
You still remember the line?
Absolutely. I've only seen it 50 times.
I love it. Come down and meet some other people here, because I want to introduce Maria and James, who are going to tease into the next little conversation I want to have with this song. Do you recognise it? Love changes everything, because we want to talk about love now. Tony and Tom come across, the Posh and Becks of the brass band world. You met at band practice, am I right, Tony?
We did, playing for the Oldham Band Lees. Been together coming up to 6 years.
And in 5 weeks' time...
We're getting married.
It's not too late, love.
Is this the kind of place where love blossoms?
It must be, because, you know, there's plenty of people who've found relationships in brass banding. Yeah. It's just great to be together with people that you love.
But this is a serious competition, isn't it?
Absolutely.
You mean business. In fact, it's really quite special that we've got there's 3 bands here today playing together. That doesn't normally happen. How competitive is it, Tom?
It's incredibly competitive. We spend the entire day trying to outrun bands, get the coach in front. Yeah, people getting off the coach to register, running ahead of other people. It's, yeah, like Bob says, it's organised chaos. But
I love it. Give us another little blast if you would. Listen to this. Absolutely fantastic. Have a wonderful wedding as well. How brilliant is that? If only we could wake up like this every morning on BBC Breakfast. You don't want to hear from me anymore, do you? Shall we have another big moment? Okay? I'm going to hand back to you and let the band play out. Okay, take it away.
Fantastic. Fantastic. I tell you what, it's much harder than it looks doing brass well, isn't it? As you'll know if you've ever witnessed brass done badly. And abide with me, we found quite emotional, didn't we? Beautiful.
My foot was gently tapping beneath the table. That was the only outward sign.
That's as emotional as you get, Charlie State.
So we can take to a street now in Saddleworth and Oldham as well. We're taking part where there will be a lot of brass bands all out and around in the community. Tell us a bit more, Jane.
This is a huge day in this part of the world. Whit Friday, the competition amongst a lot of brass bands, more than 130 brass bands, starts tonight after 4 p.m. But this morning, the Walk of Witness takes place right across this area. We've been privileged this morning because we've had people from Oldham Brass Band performing with Delft Brass Band. And that never normally happens because this is competitive, isn't it?
Definitely, yeah.
Definitely. Maria moved from Switzerland just to come here.
Yes.
Amazing. John, how competitive is it?
Extremely. Every year it's a fight to the death.
Life and death. Who's going to win this year?
Me.
Listen, they're not setting off until bang on 9 a.m. because that is a 140-year-old tradition. But Phil, what do we call a rehearsal in the world of brass bands?
We're going to have a blow-through.
A blow-through. Take it away, guys. Awesome is that? I think we're going to hand back to you guys now, aren't we, for the headlines in a minute. But at 9 a.m, we'll still be filming, and we hope to show you in just a short while how fantastic this event is. 11 villages all over the foothills of the Pennines taking part in this important Whit Friday procession. Back to you guys.
And it's 140 years old. I'm very excited to see it a bit later on, Jane. That was fantastic. Thank you. And the lady next to her kept hold of her handbag throughout. Throughout the programme this morning, we've been telling you about one of the biggest days in the calendar for brass band enthusiasts.
And that is just the beginning of it. More than 100 musicians are competing today in the 140-year-old Whit Friday contest. It's a brass band competition. So we know in the last few minutes the first band set off. This is in one of the villages, Delft. making a lot of noise. It takes place in Saddleworth and Oldham every year, and people come from all over the world to take part.
They do indeed. You can see why. The earliest recorded contest was in 1884, so it stretches back a century and a half almost. Open air in all. A short pause for COVID with lots of traditional events like that similarly, but it's resumed.
It is a
fully,
competition.
as you can see.
Yeah, so they're judged on the marching piece that you saw a moment ago, and separately they're then judged on what's called their showpiece, which is sort of within an auditorium. So yeah, it's all very official.
And it's open to anyone, so that could be you and me this time next year, Charlie.
I don't think so.
Something to put in the diary. That's it.